So today I had this insight about meaning. And so the meaning that we give things shapes our life. So if you had a rough childhood and you gave it a meaning, let's say someone was abused and they gave it a meaning that I'm a victim, I'm worthless, or I have to put up this really tough outer layer. Well, that meaning will generalize into the rest of their life. They'll bring that with them into every area. And so it's those meanings that we carry with us that shape our filters of the world. And I'm going to prove to you that there's no way that you could possibly know what something means. These meanings, like Freddie said, are often automatically generated by that 5-year-old or that 4-year-old. And we accept them as truth, but they're not truth. Not only are they not truth, we cannot know if they're true or not. And so I'll explain what I mean here. So I'm going to tell you this little parable. So there was this farmer in ancient China, and he lived in this rural village. And one day his son left the gate open and their horse ran away. And so the farmer walks outside, sees the horse is gone. The neighbor comes over and says, "Oh, your horse ran away. How unlucky." And the farmer kind of shrugs and says, "Maybe." And he goes back inside. The next day, he leaves the gate open just in case the horse comes back. The next day, 7 horses show up in the corral. He walks out, shuts the gate, and now he's got 7 horses instead of 1. And the neighbor comes over and says, "Wow, that is incredibly lucky. You must feel so lucky." And the farmer just shrugs and says, "Maybe." And the next day, the son goes out again, and he's breaking the horse, and he's trying to train and ride this horse, and he gets bucked off, and he falls and he breaks his arm. And so again, the neighbor comes over and says, "Wow, that is really unlucky." And the farmer says, "Maybe." And the following day, the conscription officers from the local provincial army come by to recruit all of the men who are fighting age. And of course, the son was fighting age. So they walked into the house, they saw him with a broken arm and a cast on his arm, and then they left because they have no use for a man with a broken arm. And so the neighbor comes over again and he says, "Wow, that is incredibly lucky." And the farmer says, "Maybe." And so I want you to think about in your life, where in the story did you latch onto that you're still holding on? Because the thing is, that farmer couldn't see the next step. He couldn't see the results of each of those steps. But if he would have given meaning to them, he would have been stuck with that meaning for the rest of that story. And so I want you to consider, most of us have this childhood experience where our horse runs away and we miss the whole rest of the story. We're looking through the world through this filter of, how unlucky am I that my horse ran away? And we miss every step of the process. And when I say you can't know what things mean, what I mean is you don't have a perspective of the whole story. This world, I believe, is built that within each hardship is a lesson and a gift. And so if you're caught up in the hardship, you don't have the perspective to see the whole story. Does this make sense? And so I think what we do, like I've been stuck for a while in this, I work through my own stuff as well, in this like, oh, I have a broken arm. And that's the part of the story I've kind of been in. Like the childhood stuff, the first horse running away, that's fine. But like, oh, I have this broken arm, and I've been missing the blessing of an opportunity because of that. And so we're going to do a little process here. We're going to go look at some meanings and decisions that you made. Now with the understanding that meaning doesn't have to be true. In fact, you can't even know if it was true because you don't know where in the story you are.